Hey everyone. Putting another one of these out because there's a lot of moving parts around here. Um, I want to thank the people who reach out to me after like the last one and call me and text me and stuff. I want to remind everyone, if you call me, I'm on a speakerphone, and most of the time mom is within 10 feet of me and listening. And so I can't really talk about her. And frankly, that's why sometimes people call after I send one of these out and I don't answer the call. I send it to voicemail or just let it ring because I can't really talk freely. And I hate to say it, but a lot of times text and email are the best ways to reach out to me privately. Or else I'm trying to whisper into a phone, and whispering drives mom crazy. Why are they whispering? Who's whispering? What are they talking? Are they talking about me? And then she goes and listens. So anyway, thanks for reaching out to me. Text me, call me. I mean, no, text me or email me, because those are the ways that I can maintain some privacy with it. So there's a lot going on. I got good stuff. I got bad stuff. Let's just tackle the bad stuff first. And basically it all relates to mom. Her decline is steep and deep and fast. It's, I don't know. I think I said in the previous one, the chiropractor who we've been getting her 2 laser treatments for the last better part, more than a year, the machine broke, and he bought that machine like 13 years ago for 20 something $1,000, and they don't repair that. They don't service that machine anymore. He has to buy a new one, and it's over $40,000. And he was not, expecting that to happen and wasn't prepared for it. So he can't treat her anymore. And it's a pretty rare machine, but the company suggests that I believe it was $400 or $450 per treatment is what the company that makes the laser machine asks the chiropractors and doctors who use the machine to charge, and insurance doesn't cover it. Now he does $250 for 6 meetings, and then he gives 2 free meetings, so he does $250 for 8 meetings, and I was doing that for the last year plus. But the other places that I found are adhering to the company code, the manufacturer's code, and charging like $450 a meeting. And I'm just like, I can't. I mean, I can for 1 or 2, but geez. So, that machine, I would see improvement a little bit, sometimes not, in the afternoon. But the 3 different times that she's gone like a month without going there was like last August, and when he went on vacation at Christmas, New Year's break. And then recently, each of those times, she's had a steep decline when she goes a couple weeks without it. So it did help her. And she hasn't had that treatment for, I think, 3 weeks now. And it's just going downhill. She goes on walks and, she's with people. But then when she gets far away now, she starts not listening to the people she's with. You don't know where my home is. My home is this way. And of course, she's going the wrong direction. And she can walk pretty far. So, she gets belligerent. She'll be with Sylvia, who's living with us, Sylvia's been great with her, but doesn't speak a lot of English. And when mom's in a good mood, they communicate just fine because mom speaks Spanish. But once they get out there on a walk and mom gets winded and agitated and stuff, suddenly she doesn't understand any Spanish, and Sylvia doesn't speak enough English to con her into coming back. And, she's calling me on the phone, and I'm trying to get mom back, and she's like, no, this lady doesn't know I don't know who she is. And she actually kind of slapped at Sylvia a little bit, didn't hit her per se, but, kind of threw weird slappy punches at her and tried to knock her away. But then she walked out into traffic on a busy street, and she's done that a couple times now. It's one thing she stepped out in front of cars in our neighborhood, our little residential community, but now she's out on Lake, for those of you who know where I live, and cars drive fast there, and she's stepped out into traffic a couple times. And, they've had to grab her and pull her back and, get physical with her. And nope, that doesn't work anymore, And I mean, we've had to have, we called a neighbor, and they jumped in their car and went and picked her up. Thursday, just a couple days ago, she was with Amy, the assistant who comes out from PACE 3 days a week. And she had a pair of shoes on her feet, but she grabbed 3 more pairs of shoes. And she walked out with 3 pairs, cradling in her arms, 3 pairs of shoes, and saying, I have an appointment with people on the other side of the freeway. Now she calls Lake Boulevard the little 2-lane each way street by our house. She calls that the freeway. And she goes, I have an appointment with people on the other side of the freeway, and I have to give them shoes. And she would, no, hollering at Amy, no, I'm not taking them back into the house. No, you can't have them. Finally, as they walked, Amy was able to get them out of her hands and at least, tie them and put them over her shoulders and hold on to them and stuff. But Mom was getting really belligerent, and I have to go across this street. And Amy thought she was going to have to just manhandle her and say, hey, you've got dementia and you need to listen to me. I mean, just because she wasn't falling for any of the normal manipulations. Amy wound up taking a picture of flowers. It's a good time of year to be doing this in our neighborhood. And she says, remember, we're creating a portfolio for work of flowers. And, it's so that our bosses have something to choose from. And now Mom was just like, oh, okay. And Amy just kind of kept taking pictures. Oh, look up there. There's flowers over there. We should add that to the portfolio. And Mom got all excited. And Amy guided Mom home 30 yards at a clip by taking pictures of flowers closer and closer. I mean, that's what it takes to get her back from a walk now. And keep in mind, Mom's just walking out the door. Even if the doors are locked, she knows how to get through doors. She's a weird place where she's still somewhat coherent and yet batshit crazy. She is getting more belligerent, even though we've got her on Cymbalta now for 2 weeks. First couple days, I thought, oh, she may be mellowing out and stuff, but she's been crazy lately. And she's starting to hallucinate things. She and I had dinner together. Sorry, I have to check something behind me. Our front door alarm is going bonkers. We have that on there. I don't know if you heard the noise. And it's been, when the door opens, it makes that noise so we can all tell when the door's open. But it's been going off on its own for the last half hour, so that's lovely. Anyway, I'm home alone, obviously. So anyway, we were having dinner together, and there's nobody with us. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the meal, she looks up and says, well, what happened to the woman who was just sitting right there? There hadn't been anyone there in a day. And she just thought someone was eating with us. And she's doing things like that a lot, where it's just hallucinations of people who aren't there. And, a couple times she said, well, where'd Bob go? Did he go upstairs? He was just here, her brother. And no, he hasn't been here since I got out of the hospital, 2 months ago. So things like that. I actually found an article online that had 10 bullet points of when they're entering final stages of dementia. And she checked 8 of the 10. And honestly, since then, I found that article last weekend. And since then, I think now she checks a 9th because she's starting to have problems. It's one of the first physical problems she's having. She's having problems swallowing. Her pills still wind up in her mouth. She's been eating food and she'll just spit a big bite out and put it down on the plate. And she'll be like, I just couldn't swallow that. And so her swallowing's not working, and that's one of the late stages. All the other mental ones, she just drifts off in sentences and word salad. She talks about just nonsense. Sometimes she'll just come in and babble, and I'm like, what the hell are you saying? And a couple times she gets really mad at me, and she's like, well, if you're not smart enough to figure it out, and she's walked in and said, you should, there was, and I'll say, I don't know what you're talking about, and she'll just bristle and be like, if you're not smart enough to figure it out, I'm not even going to talk to you. Stomp off. I'm like, holy shit, this is not my mother. And obviously it isn't. Her brain's being eaten by something, and it's horrible to watch. So, I mean, I could tell stories for the next half hour. I'm not going to, but it's like that. Yesterday she couldn't pick up a glass of water. It's the first time I've seen her be physically weak, but she was literally, oh, this is too heavy. And it was a big glass, but, this is too heavy for me. This is too heavy for me. And one of the assistant people had to help her drink water. I've never seen that happen before, and it hasn't happened since then, but she certainly felt that way yesterday. So obviously none of that is good. Wherever she is in this, it's closer to the end than the beginning of this path of dementia. And I'm not saying she's going to pass away tomorrow or anything, but she shows all the signs of the way the brain progresses, that she's in the final phase. So anyway, if you want to see her, get over here. She won't remember, or sometimes she does remember. She has vague recollections. Oh, someone came and visited. But she definitely understands moods, when she's in a good mood or when she's in a bad mood. So you can't just say any random thing to her. If you treat her badly, she'll remember. She doesn't remember the details, but she just stays in a bad mood for the rest of the day. Not that I treat her badly, and thankfully the people who have come and lived with us are some of the good news. They've been very good. They're just very good with her. They're very nice. They're very kind, gentle people. So, and they've helped with me. They will continue to help with me. They've made it clear that they like it here, and this is an upgrade for them in their lives. And I think I've mentioned before, it's a mother-daughter. And the daughter is 12. And she's extremely mature. She looks older. She acts older. And then every once in a while, she really says some really nice things or is very helpful and takes it upon herself to fix things and do things around here. And then I'll find her coloring. So I'm like, oh yeah, she is 12. But they came into my room a couple days ago when Mom was out on a walk with other people and, said, hey, we really like it here. We'll take care of her. We'll take care of you. Let us know, what you need. And we're here. You're not scaring us off. And they both walked out, and Nicole, the daughter, kind of came back in and really, for the first time, looked kind of timid, like she didn't know if she should say what she was about to say. And she says to me, I think you're a really good son. I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, you're a really good son. You're doing everything you can. She goes, we see what you're doing to keep your mom home, how many people you call to help, and how you organize things. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, don't let a little 12-year-old girl make you cry. But also, I haven't hung out with a lot of 12-year-old kids, but that seems like a really mature thought process for a 12-year-old. So I'm very impressed with her. Mom and I went for a walk yesterday in the evening, just a short walk. And when I came back, they had vacuumed things because they know that, or not they, but Nicole, the 12-year-old, had vacuumed because she knew that noises are really bothering Mom. And so she was just like, oh, well, while they're out, I'll vacuum Brian's room. I'm like, whoa. You're vacuuming my room while I'm out with my mom because the noise bothers her. And her mom was with us too. So, Sylvia didn't tell Nicole to do that. Nicole did that on her own. I'm impressed, especially for a 12-year-old. And Sylvia's been great. I'd say the only downside, so to speak, with Sylvia is just, she doesn't speak much English. But between my Spanish and Nicole translating things and stuff, we've been fine. And Google Translate's awesome. So, we're making that work. So they've been a plus for sure. I'm actively looking. I think, that I know the place that I'm going to put Mom. There are programs with the state where Medi-Cal can do some long-term care, but there's like one place in the, anywhere near us. It's in Vista. It's at the other side of Vista. It's 15 minutes away, which is no big deal. The place is kind of a dump. And they've got a 10 to 12 month waiting list. So I've done the paperwork for that program, and I don't know if there's any other things. I'm researching that because I've had some friends and resources tell me, oh, no, there's great ways to get access to that program where you can get better. I haven't found it yet, so I'm working on it. Because the place I want to put her into is literally, she walked there. She wound up there again in the last week, walking there. It's a mile from our house. It's really nice. It's more expensive. It's not super expensive. I've certainly seen others that are more expensive, and it's nice. So and it's close. Those are important things. I could literally easily in a 2-minute car drive go over, and we could pick her up and bring her home and do stuff with her and then drop her back because the night times are getting difficult. She's meandering through the night. She got up at 2 this morning and was heading for the front door, and 2:45 she got to the front door and was pulling on it, trying to open it, and she just can't get her to go to sleep, and then she sleeps all day, and we're trying to get her on a normal schedule, and she just refuses. She can't tell daytime from nighttime. It's so strange to me. She'll come into my room at 3 a.m. and I'll say, Mom, it's 3, and she goes, well, nighttime or afternoon? I said, it's nighttime. She's like, how can you tell? I'm like, it's dark. And that doesn't get into her brain anymore. So anyway, I've got to put her in a place because it's dangerous for her. It's dangerous for me. It's dangerous for all of us. Also, it's dangerous for her. So, there's going to be a cash flow issue because, her funds will pay for the first 2 or 3 months, and that's about it. And then it's just me paying out of pocket until I can get to a point where where that Medi-Cal program kicks in. Because the other locations in San Diego, if you know San Diego County, there's like Spring Valley and El Cajon, the other end of the county. If she's 45 minutes, an hour away, I can't get to her. I can't visit, and I don't want to just warehouse her. Yes, there's plenty of places in this Medi-Cal program in like Hemet and Loma Linda and kind of Riverside, San Bernardino. It's much less expensive because the real estate's less expensive, but it's an hour plus away, and I'm not going to drive that far to go see her, and I will go visit her. I'm not just putting her someplace and ditching her. So anyway, I don't know if a GoFundMe is appropriate or what, but at some point this is going to get pricey, and I have equity in the house, so I'll just go do a loan or whatever, or sell some stock, that kind of thing. I don't have the cash flow to do it, but I've got assets. It's not going to be fun on my pocketbook, my future. Anyway, now I'm babbling. The good stuff. I had blood work done last week as a follow-up to my hospitalization. Everything came back super clean. My doctor said there's no way this is the blood work of somebody who was in the hospital 2 months ago with as serious as the stuff that I had going. She was like, my kidney function is back, at peak performance. My liver function is back at peak performance. My white blood cell count, which had gotten up to 22 and you want it to be under 11, is now 7. She was like, that's totally norm. Everything showed up really good on that. I'm having another endoscopy in 2 weeks, but I'm having no symptoms. I'm eating well. I took one bite just to see of like a chocolate ice cream. I just took one bite. I waited 2 minutes and I felt a little clench in my stomach. So, I definitely don't have a gallbladder anymore doing that stuff. But I just pay attention to what I eat. I don't eat fatty things. I stay away from fried stuff. And right now, everything turns out, it looks like I'm at the good end of that spectrum of the possible outcomes. So great. For those of you who've been watching these for a while, you know that I destroyed my knee a couple of years ago, and I've gone through crazy stuff with my braces. I had the braces that constantly broke. Last week I picked up my new braces, and I've learned to walk in them. I was like Bambi in the early scenes of this movie. First day I walked with crutches everywhere, just going from my room to the bathroom. I used my crutches because it felt really wobbly. But now I've got my balance points down and everything like that. I've got 2 spots that hurt. One's hurting right now, the back of my right thigh, pushing right on my femur, and another one's on my left thigh. So I've got an appointment on Tuesday to go fix those, and that's what it's like when you get new braces. I have an appointment set up on Tuesday and then the following Wednesday, and you just go, basically set appointments once a week, and you go in and you fix the hot spots. But it's not so bad that I can't stand or walk, although the one on my right thigh is starting to really hurt right now. I've got new braces, which is good because I have continued to break the old braces, and I've never fallen down with that, but I've blown out rivets on those braces that have led me to almost fall down, and they could blow apart at any time, so no good. So I have new braces. That's a good thing. Seemed like there was something else good going on, but I can't think of what it was. Going up to the Bay Area with Jane in the middle of July, hopefully for 3 days. I've got a potential client up there in downtown San Francisco, which, cross fingers, wish me luck, it would be my largest client. And they're a company I did a little venture capital investing with that has really cool software. Actually, anybody watching this could use it. It's voice dictation software that combines in with AI, and it edits what you say and cleans it up, and it gets rid of the ands and ums, and you don't have to say comma and new paragraph. It's called Flow. You can have it on your cell phone, you can have it on your computer, and it's amazing software. And that's their software. They're also coming out with hardware for voice dictation, which is going to be amazing. So I did a little venture capital investing with them, and they want to talk to me about their benefits, and so I'm going up there in middle of July, so I can get a couple days away. I'm hoping, frankly, that either Mom is in a facility by then, or that we can just, that Sylvia and Nicole can handle Mom on their own for 3 days, and maybe we have her in a facility by then. I'm on the wait list for the place here local. I'm the first person on the wait list, so if somebody moves, which happens all the time, moves or passes, or goes back home or whatever, we're first in line. I think that's all I got. I'm sure I've forgotten some things, but yeah, there's good going on, there's bad going on. Such is life. I hope things are good in your world. Please feel free to reach out to me, again, preferably email or text. Or if you call me, just know that I'm not going to talk about Mom unless you happen to call at a time when she's out. And I hope things are good in your world, and please keep in touch. Take care.